Well, my life is never quiet, not even for a second. Hi, I'm Martina, and I'm going to tell you something I wish to know. I would prepare for this. I wouldn't suffer like that, for sure. About some astrological event that everyone has, which kicked my ass like painfully for the past 6 months, roughly. Okay. What I'm going to talk about is the Mars return. Okay. And the best way to prepare for that and how it actually demolished or completely destroyed everything in my life. And I was like this. The feeling was like I signed up for a boot camp, okay, and every day is a survival day, and I forgot that I even signed up for that, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with my life? Why, what's going on? I don't understand. So yeah, let me explain you a bit what Mars return can do with your life on my example. What the Mars return actually is: every planet will come back to the place that was at the time of your birth. So we call that return. Everyone knows about the Saturn's return, which is after 29 years or something. That completely destroys or changes your life, okay? But no one talks about Mars return. The Mars return, it's every 2 years, okay? So this is a 2-year cycle. And it will come back to the position, and this is really important to track it, especially if you have a Scorpio placements or very strong Scorpio placements or Aries placements, or you're deeply connected to the Mars to the point like your soul was forged in Mars and you're like a spiritual warrior or a curse breaker. Yes, your soul might originate from Mars, and you can call yourself the Mars child. Congratulations, you have extreme resilience to pain and challenges. You thrive in challenges, but your nervous system is completely fucked up compared to normal people's nervous system. And you have that weird fire, okay? And depends what you do with this fire. So let's make this one clear, okay? Mars is not a gentle parent. This is not Venus that will tell you, oh, you just lay it down and relax. We don't chase, we attract. That's not Mars. This is also not Jupiter, okay, where everything randomly appears in your life and you're so lucky and you go on adventures, you explore philosophical conversations, right? No, Mars is all about drive. It's all about fire. It's all about going forward. It's all about building structures. Don't misconcept the Mars as a planet, because usually when people talk Mars, yeah, aggression, sexuality, raw energy. Well, actually, Mars is the most authentic, okay? And yeah, it's raw, but it's also unapologetic. And this is what this modern world lacks, okay? There is no authenticity. Everyone plays a role. Everyone was conditioned. So what Mars is going to do? Well, destroy, okay? Will destroy. Why it destroys before it builds? So Mars doesn't care, okay, at all what you created in order to survive. However, Mars rules the root chakra, which is the base chakra, survival instincts, everything, okay? But it will destroy everything that is not you. So if you build a business based on ego or maybe family expectations, or maybe, I don't know, you picked the easy way, okay, goodbye. Depending on which cycle you are, okay, depending on where Mars will decide to land, okay, it will destroy. Why? Because, especially if you are a Mars child, if you, I don't know why it's so itchy. Oh, Scorpio, Aries, fire placements, often they get a huge boost from Mars, okay? People with that fire personalities that they like buried under people's pleasing, okay? Or maybe they just connected to the wrong planet. Don't worry, you will be claimed. If you belong to Mars, and that's the funny thing is, I had no idea, okay? I had no idea that I'm so influenced by Mars because I was a people's pleaser, I was a good girl, I tried to behave, I had many symptoms, weird symptoms of suppressing that energy, okay? Until actually I started to dig deeper during my current Mars return. That peak was exactly on the 27th of May, okay? It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm telling you, it was crazy as fuck. Everything in my life was destroyed. Connections. My ego. I think I had at least one ego's death per week in the last 6 months. And you know the ego's death is everything that is not you, and you have to like go through it, and you have that identity crisis, like who am I, where I'm going. Nothing worked in my life. Like I experienced everything that I was worried for my whole life. It was like condensant, okay, like a survival camp for me, okay. So everything that wasn't me was destroyed until I discovered. So I'm Martina, okay? By the way, hit the subscribe button and like button, okay? Because Martina means belongs to Mars, so I have super, I'm fucked. Gently speaking, please help. So yeah, Martina means belongs to Mars, and the history of my name is quite interesting because in Poland, I'm Polish, we celebrate the day of the name. Okay, and there was a war. Okay, Mars is linked to war too, internal war as well. So it's not just about outside. So she grabbed the calendar, and everyone had different idea how I supposed to be named. So she grabbed the calendar and she said, okay, she was born on 30th. There is a Martina. She is going to be Martina. That's how I got my name. And by default, that means she belongs to Mars. My life path is number 4. 4 is linked to the Emperor Tarot card, which is ruled by Mars. And yeah, for my whole life, I was purely Mars child. I just didn't know. And I had no idea there is such a thing like the Mars return. And Mars will always claim own child. And this is like, imagine parents, okay? Like we have different parenting styles. There are parents who are like easygoing, they don't put so many boundaries, or there are parents who are super strict, like Saturn, okay? So thank God, I think that will be harder than that. However, if you are a Mars child, don't expect you're gonna land on soft pillow, because this is like the warrior archetype, not the pussy archetype, the warrior archetype. So manifestation, everything is different for the Mars people, okay. So yeah, let's move to the interview of initiation. You are that sword, okay. By the way, sword is a Mars symbol, okay. No, it's not sharp, but it's sharp here. Actually, I stopped myself that with that blood there was a blood. So yeah, I practice with swords as one of the somatic exercises. Not ashamed of that. So yeah, but to create something like that, okay, so we know how swords are created, okay. First we need to have an iron mold, everything, right? There is a shape. What we need to do after that, yeah, there is a water to cool off, okay. And then that strong muscular guy, let's say Daddy's Mars, okay, so he has that huge hammer, okay, and he hammers. So this is what happens with you. during the Mars return. You're just hit by a hammer. A sequence of events that are about to shape and make you stronger. I'm laughing because so first time. So this is one of the life experiences. Okay, since I was 19 years old, which was quite a long time ago, if I can say. So yeah, since that time, I was financially independent. I'm not saying, yeah, well, I had 50-50 relationships by choice back then, okay? But I always had enough money to provide for myself. I was self-reliable, independent, financially independent in good or bad moments, right? Okay. So one of the lessons, because I struggled to receive as fuck, okay? So that was hyper independence, inability to receive, and also put myself into sort of suffering projection, okay? First time I feel ashamed to say it aloud. So I became financially dependent on my mom because, well, the sequence of events was like I ended up with my mom in the forest, not in the forest, in the house next to the forest. I need to slow down. In the house next to the forest in my home country, the last place I would want to be. So we had a moment where we started to heal my childhood, okay? We recreated patterns. I mean, the life recreated, or the hammer recreated. And somehow everything in my life collapsed and I am dependent, see, I even can't say it. I became financially dependent on someone. Say it. I said it. Okay. So that was one of the biggest pains, biggest fears in my life. What it happened, it was like I had to quit the job. And I thought like my business will work out. It didn't. Then I even started to look for a job. I sent so many applications to professions that I had experience and I was like I was qualified for it. Guess what? Nada, zero responses. And I was like, I felt like a burden. Okay. I felt like a burden. So I had to overcome a burden, which was my childhood wound. I always wanted and tried to be a low maintenance child, okay? Then I became a low maintenance or zero maintenance woman. I don't want to cost anything to anyone and I will give everything I have for you, okay? To you. So, yeah, that was a wound that was like tear open. And I need to say, like, my mom, she didn't have any problem with that. She was doing her best, but I felt guilty. Okay, I felt like a burden. So we recreated that moment when I was a little girl, and she was my provider back then. Okay, so we healed so much. I must say, we healed so much. And that was the moment. Like, I'm not sure if this is not a type I like. Okay, every woman wants to have a provider man. Every woman, deeply or not, every woman would like to have a husband or a partner who will provide for her. Okay, I 100% wouldn't know what to do with a guy like that. I wouldn't know. Like, I admit, I struggle, like, I wouldn't do it. So when you do, like, manifestations, when you pray for someone who has a provider mindset, but you have that self-independent ass who would just try to prove yourself, like, I have bigger balls than you have, of course he's not a perfect match to me, okay? So, yeah, jokes aside, everything collapsed in my life, including relationship with my dad. Like, I was ghosted by my dad. Yeah. So everything was collapsed. Everything. And imagine, like, I've been single for a while and I am in my territory, okay? So since the beginning of this year, I went to 2 dates for 6 months. 2. And I was active on dating apps. I couldn't understand, like, they were conversation, no dates invitation. So everything, like every single aspect of my life, including my health, okay? Like I was so I hold water. I hold water when I'm stressed. I have digestion problems. I have jaw problems. I have like all somatic symptoms. And finally, I started to do more research about somatic exercises. And yeah, this is one of the best of them. Okay. But I started to actually look after my body better because it started to malfunction. Everything was fucked up. I mean, and that was the moment when I started to do a research about some astrological events. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there is something in the stars, right? So yeah, it was actually, but everything was for my benefit. It wasn't like to punish me. It was just to actually help that part of me to surface and to stop apologizing for my needs, to actually learn how to express my needs in a brutal way. Because when I had to ask my mom, can you make a transfer because I need to pay a bill for a phone, and it was like everything in my body was just suffering, like, you are such a loser. It was just to overcome patterns. Okay, it wasn't paid. It wasn't nice. I admit, I'm gonna be prepared for the next Mars return, and you should be. How to read your own Mars return chart. I'm going to give the link to the calculator. It's free. It's astroseek.com. Okay, so this is one of the most famous astrological websites. Okay, so you pick the planet at time, place, etc., and then you will get your chart report. Yeah, my English is rusted. I'm living in Poland, so so yeah, I need to speak more, okay? And I started to learn Spanish recently because I've decided I'm gonna go to Spain. And my peak initiation was actually in Spain. And that's the funny thing, because when I finally checked when is my Mars return, because I gathered material to my book about Mars and Mars nervous system and everything. So I went to Spain suddenly. Okay, suddenly. I mean, as much suddenly as you can give to someone who is doing tarot readings every day. And it was something about travel, and I was like, I don't plan to go anywhere. So the sequence of events made me to go to Spain to find my friend. I couldn't find. She got herself into the trouble. So I've decided to go there. That's complicated situation, okay? So I've decided to go there on the exact day that was my peak time of my Mars return. Okay, so you can't make this up. And on that day, so I discovered that, I think that was a week later, or yeah, something like that. So I checked the date and was like, I was on the plane on that day. And actually, I flew to Spain. I realized, like, Spain, yes, this is the best place for my body. I feel like fully energetic there. I feel happy there. So that was exactly Amars showing me, okay, this is how you felt in Poland for the last 9 months. Not the most pleasurable pregnancy I ever had. Okay, so when it comes to give a birth to myself. So yeah, in Poland, my energy feels muted. Okay, and my dating life is non-existing. While when I went to Spain, I just signed up Tinder, and it was like so many invitations straight away. I mean, I was busy to chasing a criminal, but yeah, I knew I felt welcome there. I felt desired there, and that energy, like, I felt so alive. And when I came back home, mission non-successful. Okay, yeah, I had to just swallow another failure. I didn't find my friend. So I got back and I was like, okay, I know where to go. I know where my body feels the best. I know where my creativity feels the best. I know where my sexual energy, it was like, so, and this is that's interesting question about egregors, energies, and where you should live. Okay. So in Poland, I have like really good conditions. Okay, I live next to the forest. I have like except for like stress, normal stress related. Okay, I wasn't chasing any criminals here. I didn't got myself into crazy adventure here. It's quite boring. Okay, so nervous system should be quiet, should be calm, and my sexual energy should be like at the peak. While here I'm about 20% active. In Spain, despite of circumstances, I was sexually activated. And for Mars, and Mars rules sexuality. Yes, baby, it rules sexuality. So Mars show me where I am at my best, where I feel the most activated. And for Mars children, your energy, your aliveness, this is the core of your being. We are physical more than we are spiritual or more than we are emotional because of our nervous system. And that leads me to the book I wrote about Born from Mars. Okay. So the link is in the description box. I feel a bit, so this is like, I'm going to say it now because I will try to postpone it and I will forget it because this book is personal. I put a lot of information about what happened in my life that I wouldn't say a lot at all. Okay. But I said, I promised myself it's going to be authentic. So there are plenty of somatic exercises there. There are plenty of my experiences there, which like they are quite challenging. Okay, they're quite challenging. They're somatic exercises, and that will give you a little bit of understanding what the hell was wrong with you. If you're a Mars child, okay, then your nervous system, how to regulate yourself, how to work with anger, and the anger is absolutely great. Okay, so everything is in this book. So there is a part of me like, yeah, go and buy it, and there is a part of me like, I'm naked there. Not sure if I'm ready. So the choice is yours. Okay, so the last question is. 1. The house Mars falls in. This is the area of your life that the return is activating. Mars in the second house, your money and self-worth structures or getting forged. Mars in the seventh house, your relationship architecture. Mars in the 10th, your career and public identity. Whichever house it is in, that's where the fire is concentrated. 2. Aspects to natal planets. If your Mars return, Mars is conjunct your natal Saturn, expect hard stops, delays, authority structures being dismantled. Conjunct your natal Venus, erotic and financial structures being rebuilt. Conjunct your natal Pluto, this one tends to be the total demolitions. Nothing subtle, everything deep. Yeah, I've been there. 3. The ascendant of the return chart. This tells you the tone of the 2-year cycle. A Scorpio ascendant, transformation through crisis. A Capricorn ascendant, severe discipline and structural rebuilding. An Aries ascendant, pure force, direct confrontation, no diplomacy. How to work with it. There is a few months before it will hit the spot. Okay, but those few months is, I would say, okay, so how to work with it. Go and check first. Be prepared. Be prepared. Knowledge is everything, okay? Be prepared because once you know it, the area of your life that is going to be completely demolished if needed, okay? Because not every Mars return is going to be so impactful. It wasn't my case because it was the place where I was less authentic, where I had so many layers. Like, until that, I was trying to manifest in, let's say, Venusian style or in a way like Neptune style, okay? Imagine, feel, let go. I was trying to let go. I was trying to, yeah, I've tried different ways, but it never worked for me. So in order to get the most of your Mars return, check, prepare, don't fight with it. When something is destroying in front of you, like your career, your relationship, anything in that window, and that match actually the house, okay? Don't fight with it, because the more you're trying to hold on to, and I know, because this is like I was trying to hold, and I was hurting myself for the whole time to the identity that wasn't mine, and I'm not done. Because the peak time, okay, so we have demolition time if needed. There is a peak time when you make decisions, when you change the direction of your life, okay? So I changed the direction of my career. I changed the way how I express myself. I changed like a lot, okay? And I finally decided which country is going to be my home, finally. So right now, I have the direction. This is how you work with fire. Okay? This is how you work with Mars energy. You can't be in full chaos for all your life. You need to direct energy. So when you divided your energy in many different places, I can guarantee that this Mars energy will force you, okay? It will force you to direct your energy in the way you should go. That is the best for you. It's not the most comfortable. It's not good for your ego. It's not good for anything that is in your comfort zone quite often. Because so this is not like, this is not a punishment. No, this is for you to be you. Not people who, not someone who your family wants to be, not someone you feel conditioned by society, okay? That you should be this and you should be that, you should have this career, level up, and this is like your achievement. No, this is sometimes it's ego based, okay? Maybe you should be a painter and paints or making music. Instead of that, you're in a corporate job, working for someone. Maybe you should have your own job, your own company, and hire people and give job to other people, create places for other people to work for you while you work for someone else. Mars will destroy it. Not because you need to suffer. And there is that thing, okay? If you are a Mars child, you will go through this with a huge resilience and sometimes a huge like sense of humor, okay? Sense of humor is the best for any shitstorm, okay? Yeah, it's sometimes it's better just to laugh at. Like, I was like, none of this makes any sense. It's so funny that it's tragic. It's that tragic that it's actually funny. So go through it. Whatever has to be demolished, let this be destroyed. And I'm not saying this lightly. I'm saying this as someone who I went through the whole process of complete identity destruction, life destruction, everything destruction. And I had to just, so this is like, you need some stuff to be burned to the ashes. Some relationships has to end. Some connections, they have to end. That doesn't mean they can't be recreated, but you can rebuild your business with the knowledge you had, okay? But it's gonna be something else and build from ashes with the knowledge, but from ashes. You can have a relationship that didn't work out if the reason because it didn't work out, it was your ego, or maybe it was something that you blocked inside, okay? Now it might work out, okay? Or some relationships will never reset. That was the time to say goodbye. It won't happen again, okay? It can be family connection. It could be romantic relationship, okay? So for me, my Mars return was so you reach that point in your life when you stop seeing things as lessons, because there was a moment in my life like, how many more lessons? Like, I feel like I'm in some fucking university of survival or whatever. When I'm going to graduate, Then I started to look at it as, well, if I am a Mars child, then I should treat everything as a challenge. So bring them on. And suddenly, when I changed my attitude, I saw less tension. I started to enjoy. Okay. Until that point, I was in that sufferer projection. Okay. Oh, my life is such a bad. Oh my God. And all that things just to make feel myself better. Like I'm going through a very hard moments. Poor me. So right now, I just see them as a challenge. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy and nice, because I stopped asking for nice. I started to ask, okay, what is mine? Not what is easy, not what people think should be mine. What is actually mine? And I'm going to get it. Because Mars energy is about getting, going, doing, moving, not laying down and waiting for this. Like, Mars energy is not attraction that way. It's not laying down and I don't chase, I attract. And I'm going to discuss about feminine archetype for Mars women, which is completely different than that Venus style we've been conditioned to. And I was one of the crises I have. I should be softer. I should be more receptive. I should be gentle. I should be tame myself. I should be muted. And I was trying until my Mars return. So hit the like button and good luck with your Mars return. Share your experiences in the comments if you went through that recently, if you're going through that right now. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's horrible. It's horrible but needed.